I will say this, another thing I would have liked to have seen would have been Cadence in Shining Armor.
That would have been interesting.
Not only to see them on the human side, but we didn't even get to see Shining Armor in the Ponyverse.
No, and it makes sense. He's the captain of the Royal Guard. He might have been busy for this Princess Summit.
True.
Now, one thing I want to see, if they do choose to do a My Little Pony spin-off, since they did allude that a Twilight Sparkle exists in this world.
They did.
They alluded this, so, okay, make her come. Maybe these girls see her like, Twilight Sparkle, you're back! And then she's like, she doesn't know who they are, she doesn't want to be friends, she's like the Twilight that used to be. And they forced, and then you can see their perspective of trying to make her their friend. It'd be a very interesting take, a reverse thing, like forcing her to come out, forcing her to be friends, not just because she needs to be friends to save the world, because these people, they know she's probably the same-ish person as the one they met, and they want to keep being friends with her, so they try to. And they force her to... That'd be interesting. People who use their, I don't know, some shit. They use their will to will this little nerdy, shy bookworm out of her shell. It would be really interesting. It'd be better than just, hi, let's be friends now.
I will say one thing I really liked about the art style is, for anyone who's ever watched the show, obviously the cutie marks have become a very popular thing this generation. Each pony has this very unique look, and you actually saw them in their human forms, and whenever you saw like a human incarnation of like a background pony or something like that, you saw how they took the cutie mark, threw it in their design. It felt like these were human versions of the My Little Pony designs we've already seen, and we saw all these like very interesting, outrageous character designs, and I won't lie, there were some background characters that are not from the My Little Pony series that I would like to see ponies of in the future. Like, I love that fucking Mohawk guy that was just walking around.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good ones. There was a lot of great character design. Like, they're humans, they don't have cutie marks, but everyone had some kind of symbol on their clothes, a piece of jewelry, an accessory that did emphasize that cutie mark idea. Again, I wish they would have shown more. I'm actually happy they didn't turn this into a high school dramedy thing.
Thank God.
So they didn't show much of the school itself. They're not like, oh, I gotta go to class. So that I like that, but I would have loved it if they would have thrown Discord in and did that. That would have been funny.
That would have at least
give it another 20 minutes. Add 20 minutes to the runtime. Add 20 minutes worth more of fun, and I think it would have been a perfect movie, but it was a great movie, so I can't complain. I enjoyed myself, especially with the time they had. What, an hour and 20 minutes at most?
Yeah, and admittedly it's one of those things where, kind of like the show, I feel like sometimes things could have been done better if it wasn't a little rushed, but it is just so well thought out.
You might want to turn the camera towards you, not me. I wasn't talking.
But don't you want to see this pretty face?
Well, you were having it at me, so apparently I have the pretty face.
Oh, not half as pretty as me though. You're just,
yeah, but
you're
you were
pretty.
purposely,
I'm
you were talking, and you were purposely keeping the camera on me.
Nah, it is what it is. I've been good with it so far. Why are you being so anal about this?
Because I think it's hilarious. Because you're making jokes about pretty face, yet you weren't showing your pretty face. You were showing my pretty mug.
What else? I won't lie. Oh, one thing. Who we thought the human character was that Twilight was falling for. You actually alluded to a very dark scenario in which it was not Sentry, who I called. Like, this guy had one line at the beginning. It was like a head pony. I saw him in his armor. I'm like, oh, you're the human guy that she wants to... Okay, I'm not going to go any further than that. The human guy she likes. And I couldn't help but think, oh, that's him. And then he turns to me a little later, he's like, that's Shining Armor. I'm like, bullshit, that is not Shining Armor.
Shirt. It was, okay, I didn't see his shirt at the beginning with the lightning mark on it. I saw the shield. I remember Shining Armor has a shield kind of cutie mark. I'm like, oh, it's Shining Armor. That's going to be cool. Like, she'll find, it's not going to be a love interest. It's going to be the brother of her character, or of her counterpart here. And she'll be like, oh, ew. I think that would have been hilarious.
It definitely would have been a little hilarious, if only a joke for us older audience members, but Oh man, they really did have this so well set up, and they did so many cool things with it. Like just that opening animation where we see this very aesthetic, pleasing art, like detailing all the main six.
They had a really good opening credit scene. I won't deny it. That was a really, really good opening credit scene.
Beautiful.
Very, very well done.
It's one of those things where I felt so satisfied. I felt every character was properly represented. If you guys like My Little Pony, I heavily suggest you check it out. If you guys have not seen the show, I cannot recommend it because this is it's so much meant for people who've seen the show.
I have to agree. If you haven't seen the show, this is not a good jumping on point because though fantastic, they really expect you to already know the characters and everything so that it all works. That's why they could get away with the quick, everything's happy, we're friends again in, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
It didn't have any of that build-up or that big homage. And now the show gets away with it too at times, but the show at least had time to build it. So if you love My Little Pony, great, go watch this. If you haven't watched My Little Pony, I'd recommend watch the first half of the first season. Get to Winter Roundup. If you're not into it by Winter Wrap Up. Yeah, I know.
Now who's the newbie brony?
Shut up. Winter Wrap Up. I like Roundup better. I don't know why. Get to Winter Roundup. Wrap Up. Get to Winter Wrap Up. And if you don't like the show by then, you probably won't like it. But if you do like the show, I'd say go see the movie. It takes place, yeah, after the end of season 3, but if you watch the first half of the first season, you'll get enough of it to know what's going on. But I would recommend, definitely, if you haven't seen the show, start with season 1, maybe go through season 2, the 2 best seasons so far, and then see the movie. Don't use the movie as a jumping on point because you'll just be confused.
It really was a fantastic film, though. And it was very nice to see both bronies and obviously the target audience in the same room together, just enjoying something. And it's something I can honestly say.
Did you see that one little girl ahead of us? Oh God, she was so adorable. She had a My Little Pony hat. She had a Rainbow Dash backpack. Yep. She had a brony shirt. This girl was ready. This little girl, she must have been like 8. I'm like, she's a lifetime fan. Yeah.
It's one of those things where I can honestly say I remember growing up with some of these amazing bits of entertainment. They were so well thought out, they were so handled well, and I've always wanted that for the next generation. And for a time, I didn't see it that much on television, but with shows like Adventure Time, Avatar, and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, I honestly feel kids are going to be able to have these wonderful childhood memories. They're going to be able to reflect on these shows. 20 years from now, they're going to return to these shows. They're going to get nostalgic, and they're going to notice things they didn't see before. Like, oh my God, did you see those Big Lebowski characters, freaking ponies in the background? I didn't know those when I was a kid. Those guys are in our movie. Why are they in this show? It'll blow their mind. It's like when I freaking returned.
Did you see Dr. Who's? They had a Dr. Who's back for
Yes!
I saw, and he kind of looked like like a teenage doctor. I'm like, yay! And I don't like Doctor Who, but I love how the fan turned. His name's Time Turner in the show, but they turned Time Turner into Doctor Who's, and it's just so much fun.
It's one of these shows where, because it has a strong adult audience that's always supported it, always been there ready to give it a helping hand, it's been such a part of creating the fandom. We created entire characters, backstories, pairings, and I've enjoyed learning about it so much. I'm still a bit new to the brony fandom, but I am so glad to be a part of it. It was so glad to see this movie, so nice to interact with other bronies, and all I can really say is thank you.
And for me, again, all I can say is thank you. I think this show was fantastic. They turned a silly 80s sell-a-toy franchise into a beautiful thing. They turned another cash grab toy-making idea into a beautiful thing with this movie. I've only been really deep in the brony fandom for the past few months myself. I've loved the show for a little over a year. but I've really only been in the fandom the way I have been for the last few months, to the point where I experience everything people can get put out for it. But I can say, honestly say, I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to 5-10 more years of pony love, and give me at least something that's decent, and you'll have me hooked for the rest of my life. I don't think I'm ever going to drop this, and I think it's going to go on forever. Hell, My Little Pony's been around since the 80s. They just finally now have a really good incarnation, so let's keep it going. Let's keep going, and as fans, we'll keep supporting as long as you keep loving. Thank you.
And always remember, even if you don't like My Little Pony, if you're just here for our anime reviews, love and tolerate.
All 8 of you.